the Amite Warriors hosting the Independence Tigers in an electrifying Russell Memorial Stadium tonight. Marty Morgan, this is what high school football is all about.
Well, it is, Mark. We've been waiting 6 weeks for this matchup, a key match indeed. It is historically the District 9 3A championship, the winner having to avoid Evangel, as most people know, getting the edge in the road to the Dome. And I think both teams and both coaches feel that the winner of this game will go on and win the district championship, as well as have a great chance at the Superdome.
Both teams, as usual, ranked in the elite of Class 3A. Independence coming in tonight ranked 3rd in 3A. Amite is ranked 8th. That 8th, of course, very deceiving with the likes of their schedule, losing to St. James, who was ranked 2nd at the time in a close ball game right here in Amite, and also losing to a tough South Pike team, who's one of the better teams in Mississippi. So Amite's really battle-tested this year, Marty.
Well, they are, Mark, and it starts on the defensive side of the ball for the Warriors. They're led by their linebacker, Dedrick Butler, Dedrick Buckles, along with Leonard Brumfield, who also doubles as a running back. So the Warriors defensively, that is their strong suit. And on the other side of the ball, Independence, of course, they're led by Antron Sieber. They're all Mr. Everything, do-it-all candidate, all-state returning quarterback, LSU signee. So, Mark, we have a contrast of two teams, you might say. Can Amite stop Antron Sieber? But on the other side, let's don't sell the Tigers defense short.
Well, certainly, Marty. Independence, a great defense, 3 shutouts to start the year, held Kentwood to 17 points. And played pretty good defense last week against a highly explosive, lawless team, so they're battle-tested as well. Independence coming in 4-1. Their lone loss to the Class 1A #1 ranked team, Kentwood Kangaroos. Amite 3-2 as the captains are at midfield. And Marty, Independence has won the last 3 of these contests. Amite feels like they're a little bit due tonight, and these fans are very hostile.
Well, they are, Mark. I mean, we are right in the middle of these fans, and it is just electric. Like you say, you talked about it earlier. We said, well, maybe there's not going to be as many people as there in the past, but as the game gets closer to starting time, people are starting to fill in, and they're too deep along the fences. So even with all the success of all the other teams in the parishes, this still is the biggest game in the parish year in and year out. Everybody knows Independence and Amite traditionally are the 2 best teams in the parish, Stanchboro Parish that is, and people want to see that.
And right now the coin toss has been won by Independence, and Marty, they defer the toss, and that's a strategy, I think, that they want to go on defense. 2 defensive football teams here tonight, so Independence will kick off to Amite. Amite will have the football to start the ball game moving from left to right. So we're going to take a break here from Russell Memorial Stadium, come back with the opening kickoff. You're watching high school football, Warriors and Tigers on Florida Parish Television, Channel 17. Back at a rocking Russell Memorial Stadium, jam-packed on both sides of the football field, as is the case every time these 2 teams get together. And an estimated crowd of about 3,000 or 4,000 once again here tonight. Possibly not as big of a crowd as last year's game in Independence or that great 1992 matchup, but nonetheless a big crowd. Anyway, both teams ranked in the top 10 in Class 3A, and both teams, Marty, this is one point we haven't touched upon, but the winner of this ball game, the stakes are even higher this year than normal because of the side of the bracket they'll be on in the playoffs.
Well, no doubt about it. We touched on it a little bit earlier, Mark. If you win this, you do not have to face Evangel, which is, everyone knows, a hard obstacle to overcome on the way to the Dome. So along with not having to play Trowbridge and St. James and a couple other stalwarts. So it is to the greatest advantage and to win this game, and this game means so much to both of these teams. So we're getting ready to kick off, and set to kick off for Independence is Antron Sieber. Back deep to receive for the Warriors is Esco Hornsby and the speedster Oscar Perry.
Sieber will wait for the official's whistle, and he's set to kick the ball off and puts a big foot into it. This ball will drive Hornsby back to the end zone, and the Warriors will have it first at 10 at the 20-yard line. Seaver is customary, kicking the ball into the end zone. So Amite will try to draw first blood with the football at the 20-yard line, and they're going to start it this way. And along the offensive line for Amite, number 71, Antonio Connerly, also number 50, Earl Seals, also in there, big number 70, Justin Richardson. Number 57, Gabe Smith. They'll be along the offensive line along with number 78, and that is Wardell Dyson. Your quarterback is Brandon Wagner. Brumfield is in the backfield. We'll set the wideouts after this play. Man in motion. Here is Wagner. He'll hand off to Brumfield, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage and perhaps gained a couple of, maybe a foot or so on the play, but the Independence defensive line led by big number 59, that's Sean Tanner, stood up the Amite run that time.
Well, Mark, that's just great defense right there by Independence. They ran a fake speed, and Brumfield had nothing up the middle as Phil Tedora from his linebacker position was right in making the tackle. So second down and 10 for the Warriors.
Independence on defense. That is Antoine Smith, Derek Cutter, Sean Tanner, and David Copeland up front. Gerald Franklin, Phil Tedora at the linebacker. Devarius Bess, Otto Bonds, Mike Washington on the field. This is Oscar Perry, and he has running room up for about 13, 14, maybe 15 yards. And the first down on the speed play, and there we saw the wrinkle that we'd seen earlier in the year, Marty, as Amite cutting that speed play back inside. Perry for 15 yards and the Warrior first down.
And Mark, that was Oscar Perry, and right there, Otto Bonds just getting enough of him, because if Oscar Perry gets a step on you, nobody's going to catch him in this stadium.
The Warriors pick up their first down of the ball game, driving at their 35-yard line. They'll go no backs here, have trips to the left here and a short trips, no backs in the backfield. Tigers will get set, perhaps a new formation. Here's Wagner. He'll hand it off to Perry. Has big running room around the left side. Fumbles the football. The ball is loose, and it looked like the Warriors recovered and did. An alert Warrior trailing the play, able to fall on it, but Perry unable to hang on to the football. Fumbles it. Antonio Connerly picked it up, but not before he picks up 7 yards. Warriors driving the football here early.
And Mark, you talk about Oscar Perry. He's only a sophomore, and it's his first year of playing football, so the young man is new to football, but he has such great speed, you have to keep him on the field.
And a quick timeout by the Independence coaching staff, Marty. That was a formation that they had not seen in any of the Amite's previous games or ever from Donald Career, so a change and adjustment right off the bat. They call timeout and try to get things situated here, and a little confusion on the Independence defensive front.
So we'll take time to hear from one of our sponsors. Tonight's game being brought to you by Travis R. Amar. Have you been injured in an accident? Call Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Travis R. Amar handles a wide variety of personal injury litigation, including slip and falls and auto accidents. For all your personal injury needs, call Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Mark, and he's a good one. Tonight's game also being brought to you by Circle A Hardware, located in Albany, 1 block past Hancock Bank. Circle A Hardware is your place for building a home, remodeling, fence, anything you need for a home. Call Circle A Hardware at 567-5453.
Second down and 3 for Amite. Ball at the 42-yard line. There's a toss to Brumfield, and he is stopped for maybe a gain of 1 at best. They try to get outside, cut it back inside, but Sean Tanner and Derek Hunter were there, and it'll bring up third down and call it no gain on the play. 3 yards to go for the first down. So Independence, after surrendering 22 yards on the last 2 carries, stiffened that time.
And Mark, I think Amite caught Independence a little off guard, but Independence settling in, and they have an outstanding defense. And you know, other than it's early on, so let's see what Amite can do in the passing game.
Third down at 3. Amite, no backs in the backfield. Here is Perry. They'll give him the ball on the speed again. He has the corner and gets outside, and he'll have about 10 or 12 yards, 15 yards. And Marty, Independence is outnumbered on that side. Their blocking scheme, Amite's just blocking it down, and Perry is turning the corner unmolested and gets down inside Independence territory to the 45, and that's going to be an adjustment they're going to have to make to be able to shut down that speed play.
And Mark, I mean, It's a little wrinkled. Usually every year, the last 3 years, Independence has just totally stymied that play. And right now, like you say, Amite's overloaded to one side, and Oscar Perry's speed, there's no substitute for that.
Amite spreading the field again. Lone back is Leonard Drumfield. Man in motion. And this will be Terrell on the carry. And he is hit and dropped for a loss. That's Derek Hunter in the backfield. And that'll be a loss of about 2 on the play. So Terrell on the carry is hit by Derek Hunter very alertly in the backfield.
And another new wrinkle by Coach Carrere. But I'm going to tell you what, that was an outstanding play right there by Hunter, Mark. Coming in, beating his block, and had he not made that play, Terrell had long yardage. But a great defensive play by Hunter.
8:40 and counting here in the first quarter. Glad you're with us on Florida Parish's television, channel 17. No score. Amite spreading the field all the way across the right side. Here is Tim Downing. Man in motion is Perry. They give him the football again. He gets a good block and is hauled down there by Antoine Smith, who caught him from behind and only picked up about 5 yards on the play. Looked like he had a lot of running room to run with the football, but a nice play by Smith.
It was a nice play by Smith, but I think what Perry was doing, Mark, was waiting for a blocker, and he just waited too long because Antoine Smith, a great athlete in his own right, caught him from behind, and that's saying a lot when you can catch Oscar Perry. So good job defensively by Antoine Smith. Now it brings up a 3rd down and 8 in a certain passing situation for the Warriors as they have come out and opened it up on an impressive drive.
And as you said, a big 3rd down situation here. No backs in the backfield. Amite takes 2 downs here if they don't get it here. And again, this is Perry, and around the left side, cuts it up, and he'll be close to the 1st down. Stopped about 3 yards short. Picks up about 5 on the play, and this will be very interesting to see if the Warriors go for it. I would imagine they would, Marty.
Well, Mark, I don't know about going for it this early in the game, although the momentum is in your side. But if you get a good punt, you pin them back and hope that they make a mistake if you're Amite. But, you know, you don't make this. It gives Independence the momentum back.
4th down and 3, and Amite's going to burn a timeout here with 7:11 to play in the first quarter. And at this time, we'll hear from some more of our sponsors for tonight's ball game. Field of Dreams Baseball School, owned and operated by Jason Baglio, who also works for the Pittsburgh Pirates, located on North Cherry Street across from Trafton Academy, featuring arm action pitching machines, pro infield diamond, bullpen mounds, and the finest instructors in the area. Also attending the baseball school during the summer months and also throughout the year will be Scouts college coaches. College coaches. Call to reserve your membership, children 6 and up. That's 878-9415. That's Field of Dreams Baseball School across from Trafton Academy on Cherry Street. Memberships are available. Also, People's Bank of Louisiana with 5 offices for full-service banking. Amite, Greensburg, Kentwood, Franklinton, and opening soon in Hammond. Member FDIC, that's People's Bank of Louisiana.
So, Mark, we'll get back to the action as it is a 7:11 to go in the first quarter. Amite Independence opening drive of the game. Amite has driven it to the Independence 38-yard line, and they're going to go for it on 4th down and 4.
4th and 4, Warriors with the football at the 38-yard line. Here's Wagner on the option, and he slips and falls. And there to make the stop is Charles Tofield, playing his first action really of the season. Played a little bit against Booker T. Washington. He's finally healthy, and right there, Wagner doesn't slip. He might have been able to pitch the ball to Brumfield trailing on the option play.
Well, from our vantage point, it looked like he had an opening, but, you know, that's part of football. It may be the only slick spot in the field, although there is a lot of grass coming up on the field, Mark. So, right there, good defense by Independence.
So the Warriors drive the football some 40 yards on their opening drive to come up short on 4th and 3. Tigers with it, one back in the backfield. That's Dawson. Seaver calls for the football, straight back on the slant, and it's intercepted. He wanted Devarius Best on the slant play, but he threw it a little bit too far and up the field, and it was intercepted there by number 31 for Amite, and that was Patrick Warford. So Seaver throws just his 3rd interception of the year, Marty, and right there, another wrinkle by the Amite defense, a little too far on the lead of Devarius Best.
Well, momentum often, as it does, changes in big games like that, Mark, and right there, 31. Patrick Wofford making an outstanding interception because that was a bullet. And he was fortunate enough to hang on to it, so now Amite takes over, having a second chance.
Best looked to be wide open on the play, just led him about 5 yards too far. Outstanding catch by Warford. Warriors back in business at the 46-yard line. Here is Brumfield up the middle, and he is bullying his way ahead for about 4 or 5 yards. And that's what Leonard Brumfield can do for you, Marty. He is a bull of a back, going about 220 pounds, and when he gets going downfield, he's very tough to bring down.
Well, no doubt about it, Mark. One guy is not going to stop him. As you see, numerous Tigers on him, but good first down call for Amite, picking up 4 yards, so it brings up 2nd down and 6 for Amite.
2nd down, 6, ball just shy of midfield. Wagner under center and has Terrell in motion. He'll pitch. This is Brumfield. He'll have some running room around the left side. He's upended at about the 1st down marker. And right now the Tigers are having problems on the perimeter of their defense. Amite able to exploit the outside.
Well, they are, Mark, and you know, coming into this game, I didn't know if Amite could do this against the speed of Independence, but so far in the first 2 series, that is exactly what has happened, and they'll bring out the sticks as it is a looks to be very close to a 1st down, and we'll see what the referees on this call decide, or what the chains say. And from our vantage point, it looks to be a 1st down, and it is. Referee Benny Machida signals a 1st down. So Amite once again in Independence territory as they move the ball to the 44-yard line.
Independence can ill afford to make mistakes, Marty. They've only had 1 offensive play in the ball game so far, and Tiger defense on the field the entire 1st quarter, and Amite has had plenty of success running the football. 1st and 10 at the 44. Man in motion is Hornsby, and this is Wagner on the quarterback keeper, and he'll have about 2 or 3 yards up the gut of the Independence defense. Stopped by Derek Hunter, and he'll pick up about 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. And right now, Amite has the Tigers a little bit off balance defensively, and a good game plan to start the ball game by Donald Career.
An excellent game plan as he has come out and kind of mixed up Independence in a lot of ways, but that's what Donald Career does to you. He's got an offense that not a lot of people run, but it's very effective.
Called a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Here's Hornsby in motion. He'll have the football, and he turns the corner again. Has plenty of running room down the right side, and right there, Marty, Otto Bonds just came upfield too far, and he looked like he was a little bit out of position. He allowed Hornsby just to run right around him, and right there, if the Tigers don't get that solved, they'll have a long night on their hands.
Well, they will, Mark, and we've been to the last 3 games, and Amite running the speed play was basically a joke against Independence. They tried it, they couldn't do it, and lo and behold, this year, that's been the success. What is it, Mark?
Right there, I think Bonds just lost track of the football and didn't realize Hornsby had it. And here we got a 2-on-1 situation. Independence is in big trouble here, Marty. And Wagner carries the football, and there's going to be a flag on the play. And that's a big break for Independence, whether it's against them or not, because Amite had 2-on-1 on the far left side. Nobody from Independence went out to cover the Twins, and all he had to do was pick the ball up and throw it. It would have been an easy touchdown, but they just ran the play up the middle, got an offsides call against Independence. It'll be 5 yards, 1st and 5.
Well, Mark, thus far in the 1st quarter, no score. 5 minutes to go. It's been all Amite, and Independence a little bit on their heels right now. And you know, Independence a very, very well coached team. So that's a team. You know, it's still no score. They will make adjustments.
Here's going to be the speed again. Actually, the quarterback keep. This will be Wagner, and he pulls away for another 1st down for the Warriors. And right now, the Independence Tigers are off balance and on their heels defensively and very confused out there on the field. And Amite mixing it up, running the speed, running the quarterback trap, the toss play option. And right now, Independence looking very, very confused on defense. 10. Ball just outside the 10 at the 11. Amite marching here. Trying to go up in this ball game. 4:40 to play in the first quarter. Hornsby on the carry, and he is hit in the backfield and dropped by Chris Bonds. So finally an adjustment as Bonds comes in the backfield and stops Hornsby for a loss of 5.
And Mark, that's a very, very good adjustment. When you see the speed play, all the corner has to do is come up. Although you are taking somewhat of a gamble, if he does not hand it off to him, a man would be wide open. But, you know, they've run the speed 8 or 9 times thus far in the game, and right there, if the cornerback continues to come up, he'll make the play. But, like I say, he's taking an awful big risk, because if they fake it and no one's there, it's a wide open touchdown.
Warriors spread receivers all over the place. Wagner, second down and 15. He'll call for it. He'll hand it off to Brumfield right up the middle, and he hammers his way down inside the 5-yard line. And right there, have the Tigers all spread out, and Marty, they are spreading Independence out. They're getting some advantages inside, and right there, Brumfield hammers it forward for about 12 or 13 yards, and it'll be 2 yards shy of the first down.
So it brings up a big 3rd down and 2 for the Warriors.
3rd down and 2, ball at the 3-yard line. Amite has owned this first quarter, 3:13 and counting. And they'll go to their full house package here. Wagner calls for it, quarterback sneak, and he gets forward for about probably a touchdown. And dominating the first quarter of play and lead it by a score of 6-0, 3:01 to play. And the Tigers are right now, Marty, scratching their heads defensively.
Well, Mark, they may be scratching their heads, but, you know, Amite's done some good things. They've executed is what they've done, and Independence only having the ball one time throws an interception, but it's only 6-0, and it's only with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and you know how this rivalry is and how this game is. It's a long way from over, as Amite has dominated the first 9 minutes of this game, but we have 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Amite leading 6-0 with the all-important PAT, and it is up, and it is good, and with 3:01 to go in the first quarter, the Amite Warriors lead 7-0. Now let's take time to hear from one of our sponsors. Tonight's game being brought to you by Travis R. Amar. Have you been injured in an accident? Call Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Travis R. Amar handles a wide variety of personal injury litigation, including slip and falls and auto accidents. For all your personal injury needs, call Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Tonight's game also being brought to you by Circle A Hardware, located in Albany, 1 block past Hancock Bank. Circle A Hardware is your place for building a home, remodeling, fence, anything you need for home improvement. Circle A Hardware also specializes in mobile home parts, 200-amp poles that are Entergy and Demco approved for only $269. In Albany, it's Circle A Hardware, 567-5453. And Mark, there's an injured Tiger on the field. I can't see the number. Let's hope the young man is okay.
Can't quite get a read on who it is, but he's down on the field. Looks like they're tending to perhaps his left knee or ankle. And with that timeout, we're going to take a break, come back with the kickoff. Amite leading it 7-0, 3:01 to play in the first quarter. On the play was sophomore cornerback Chris Bonds, who looks like he has an ankle or a knee injury, and he'll be escorted off the field by the North Oaks trainers. And setting the kickoff for Amite is number 43 for the Warriors, and that's Damian Thompson. Back deep is Brandon Dawson for the Tigers, flanked by Bonds and also Jarvis Dunn. The Warriors have outgained the Tigers here 87-0 here in the first quarter. Here's the kick. This ball will go to Dawson at the 2-yard line as he tries to get upfield and does, running hard, and he is out to about the 20-yard line as Brandon Dawson, where the Tigers will take over 1st and 10. Independence running just one play in the first quarter, and that was an intercepted pass from Antron Seaver, intercepted by Patrick Warford, setting up the first Amite touchdown of the ball game. And it's 7-0 Warriors here in the first quarter. Ball's actually at about the 22-yard line, where Independence will have it 1st and 10. Sieber, 2 backs in the backfield. 2 tight ends. This will be Dawson who carries the football, and he has a lot of running room over the right side, and he'll fight ahead for about 8 or 9 yards. So the Tigers, with a big run on 1st down, pick up 8.
Well, Mark, if you're Independence, you got to feel pretty good about that first running play because, hey, if Independence has some success running the ball, it opens up their passing game.
Dawson, who came into the ball game with over 600 yards this year, has filled it admirably for LeBrandon Tofield, who's still out with that torn ACL. And Dawson has played well. 215 pounds. He's a hard runner as Tigers have it 2nd down and 2. Sieber calls for it, hands it to Dawson, straight up the gut, and he has nothing. And he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and call it 2. For the Tigers, he was met by a big wall of Warriors led by, looks like Buckles and company, and right there, Amite defense stood their ground.
Well, they did right there, Mark. Nathan Thomas coming up big, making the tackle on Dawson, and Dawson's not an easy guy to do that, too, as he goes about 220 and runs about a 4.7, so he's a very good back, and Nathan Thomas on a good defensive stop.
And if you're Independence, you can very ill afford to go 3 and out here. 3rd down, a long 2. Sieber hands to Dawson. He'll be stopped for no gain, and that's Buckles, who came in unmolested and tripped him up for no gain. There's an injured Warrior down on the field, and that looks like number 26, Chris Gordon, and he is getting up, hobbling a little bit. But Marty, it looked like Dawson had plenty of running room, but here comes Buckles out of nowhere, unblocked, and makes the tackle.
Well, you talk about the speed of Amite's defense. Mark, defensively, they're kind of mirror images. Both teams have a good front four. Both teams can fly to the ball. So defensively, they're mirror images. And right now, early on, Amite just kind of getting the best of them. But Independence, I think, has to settle in. On the first play, they had shown a little success running the ball. Dawson picked up 8 and chose to run it the next 2 times, which is excellent calls by Keith Corona, the offensive coordinator. But Amite just made 2 good defensive plays.
Tigers having run 4 plays the entire first quarter, and they'll have to punt it after going 3 and out. And Sieber will be standing back at around his 20-yard line. Snapping for the Tigers will be Jeremy Cooper. Deep to receive for Amite is Esco Hornsby. Here's the snap, a good snap. Sieber gets the good punt off. And this will bring Hornsby back to his 32. He'll run upfield, has running room, and forces ahead past midfield to the 49. So Hornsby on the return of about 20 yards. The punt was about 50 yards by Antron Sieber, but a big run back negated half of it.
Well, that was a beautiful, beautiful punt by Antron Sieber as it turned over, but Esco Hornsby, Mark, and making a great catch on the ball, as that ball is a hard ball to catch, spiraling like that, and made a nice run as he cut it to the outside, then ran it back up the middle, and Warriors once again in great field position as they are on the Independence 48-yard line.
And again, the Tigers are out of position here. Nobody covering number 25, and now Best will come over, and this is again the quarterback trap, and again Independence gets away with being out of position on defense. And for Independence's sake, if Wagner spots that, Marty, that's a touchdown.
Well, no doubt about it, Mark, is for Amite, number 25, Dennis Edwards was left virtually uncovered, but, you know, it's hard to ask a high school kid to come up to the line. He's got so much on his mind, especially in Donald Career's complex offense with all the motion and so forth, and ask him to make an audible on that call.
Wagner picked up 3 at 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 46-yard line. And in motion, here is a reverse. Actually, the pass wide open. This will be a touchdown to Thompson. And right there, the reverse pass. Nobody in coverage for Independence. That's what happens successful running the football is you have to commit more people to the run. And Independence right now, Marty, is totally flabbergasted defensively. They're lining up, having problems lining up and getting adjusted. Amite taking advantage.
Well, Mark, to be honest with you, it was a case of a great call. I mean, he faked the speed play, then he faked the reverse, and I believe if the LSU Tigers, the Buffalo Bills, were playing defense, they would have been mixed up on that call.
You can't get any more wide open than that as Thompson hauls it in for the touchdown. He'll have a chance to tack on the extra point, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. So the score with 25 seconds to play in the first quarter is Amite 13, Independence nothing. At this time, we'll hear from a couple of our sponsors, and of course one of those sponsors being Field of Dreams Baseball School, owned and operated by Jason Baglio, who also works for the Pittsburgh Pirates, located on North Cherry Street across from Crafton Academy, featuring arm action pitching machines, pro infield diamond, bullpen mounds, the finest instructors in the area, and also from time to time college coaches and scouts will be coming by to give instruction. That's Jason Baglio's Field of Dreams Baseball Camp, located across from Crafton Academy, 878-9415. So Amite has dominated play here early. Independence getting nothing going offensively. And they will have the football as Thompson will get set to kick off. Dawson, Dunn, and Bonds back deep to receive for the Tigers.
So a good start for Amite, Mark. If you're Independence, you just can't, you can't get down. You're going to get some big plays of your own. So Independence has just got to settle in. And Jarvis Dunn right there might have the opportunity as he is breaking back across the middle. But right there, 48 for Amite. Ephraim Anktacha does not get a hold of him. Dunn has a opening along the end. So great individual effort for Dunn, Mark. And Independence, I think, just has to settle down. The first quarter has not gone their way, but 13 points is not a lot for Antron Sieber and his offense to overcome.
Of course, the Amite defense, as good as it is, it's always tough to overcome a 13.
Wrinkles, but right there, and just picks you apart, but right
down at 10 at the 28. Sieber calls for it, hands to Dawson, and he is stacked at the line of scrimmage, but bowls his way forward about 5 yards, and Dawson was stopped for nothing at the line of scrimmage, but his brute strength pushed ahead for 5, and credit that second effort by Brandon Dawson.
So that'll be the end of the first quarter with your score, Amite 13 and Independence nothing.
Independence lead Amite 96-97.
Quarter, let's hear from People's Bank of Louisiana with 5 offices for full-service banking. Amite, Greensburg, Kentwood, Franklinton, and opening soon in Hammond, member FDIC. That's People's Bank of Louisiana, a proud sponsor of tonight's contest. Tigers with a football, second down and 5 after a 5-yard run by Brandon Dawson. At their 33-yard line, here's Sieber back to pass, fires it wide open as Joseph. He'll turn outside, has another first down, and fumbles out of bounds. But not before the Tigers pick up the first down. And Marty, that's right there, wide open was Lionel Joseph. Amite giving the big cushion as they usually do.
And Mark, I've seen Independence. This is the third time I've seen them play, and their most successful play that they run is that out route to Joseph, as Sieber has pinpoint accuracy, and Joseph will catch it if it's within 3 feet of him. So right now, Independence kind of settling in with 11:52 as they march to the 44-yard line and picking up 2 first downs.
Tigers one back in the backfield. Sieber on the option. He'll keep right side and hammers forward for about 2, maybe 3 yards on the carry. And right there, Tigers running option, short side of the field. And Sieber had a little running room, but was tripped up on a nice play there. Looked like that was big number 64, Nate Thomas, on the tackle for Amite. So call it a 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7. Big thing this drive here does for Independence, whether they score or not, Marty, is to give Sammy Messina, Independence's defensive coordinator, time to make adjustments on the sideline. 2nd and 7. Here's Sieber back to pass. Fires it, and it's incomplete, intended for Bess, again, right off his hands. And that ball hit him right on the money.
And that was a good pass right there, Mark. You know, I hadn't seen Bess run a lot with this offense, so I don't know that he's in sync right now with offense. I'm sure he's been getting a lot of time at practice, but you know, nothing's like game situations.
Well, Bess normally a very sure-handed receiver. Of course, that ball was away from his body a little bit, going into traffic. That's always a tough catch to make, but really you can't throw the ball any better than Sieber did that time, unlike the pass he overthrew the first play of the game. 3rd down and 7 for the Tigers. Ball at the 47. Sieber on the bootleg action. And he's going to be hammered. Actually gets up and will still break away. And he'll fight his way up and fall short of the 1st down and hit late out of bounds. And I think there's a flag that'll tack on 15 on a late hit out of bounds.
Well, we'll see if there is a flag. And that was just a remarkable individual play by Antron Sieber, and no, I don't think there is a flag, Mark. Well, it is a dead ball foul, and right there it was a late hit on right there on Amite, so that'll give Independence the 1st down, and a much-needed 1st down for the Tigers.
And a late hit came after Sieber fell on the ground. He was speared in the back, and really unintentional on the part of the Amite defender. But what happened, he was falling as Sieber was out of bounds, and that's a tough break for Amite because you really can't hold your momentum when the man is out of bounds. That's a tough break, but nonetheless, the call goes the Tigers' way, and they have the ball 1st and 10 inside the Amite 35-yard line. Sieber calls for it, has the football on the option, and he'll be swarmed under, and a face mask in the backfield. That'll be 15 more yards. And right there, looked like number 68 for Amite reached out and grabbed the face mask. And that's Marbury Wilson, Marty, and didn't get much of it, but just enough to draw the flag.
Well, it is, Mark, and right now Independence getting a few breaks, a lot of much-needed breaks as Amite leads 13-0, so that'll be another 15-yard penalty, and Independence marches it down to Amite territory, down to the 24-yard line.
And of course, the break there for Amite is the penalty is thrown from the spot of the foul, so there was a loss probably of about 8 yards. So really, even though it's still a 1st down, it wasn't as big as it could have been on the penalty. But the Tigers nonetheless have a 1st down at the 23, and a big drive here, especially having the ball at your own 13-yard line to start the drive. Tigers need to make something happen if they are to get back in the ball game here, trailing 13-0. Sieber calls for it, hands it to Dawson. He'll have running room up the middle. He forges ahead and has about 6 yards on the carry, maybe 5. Let's see what they give him. About 5 yards for Dawson. So the Tigers methodically moving down the field on the 8 of 2 15-yard penalties, tacked on to some good running by Dawson and Sieber.
Well, I thought Independence would come into this game and they'd settle down, trailing 13-0. They've settled down, got over the hype of the start of the game and relaxed a little bit, and now they're putting together a nice drive. And let's just see if they can punch it in, Mark, with 2nd down and 6. As Independence doing a nice job of mixing up their offensive plays as well.
2nd down, call it 6. Here's Sieber on the option, has running room, turns the corner for about a couple. And again, that's Nate Thomas and Marbury Wilson who trip him up, and Not for Mr. Thomas and Wilson. Sieber has some running room. Great defensive play there by the Warriors.
Well, a very good defensive play, but I like that call. If I'm Independence, that's an option play that we don't see a lot of by Independence, and right there, Antron Sieber doing a nice job. He just got tripped up, so 3rd down and 4, and this will be a certain 2-down territory for the Tigers.
And a flag is down, and let's see who is the culprit here. Looks like the Tigers jumped too soon, and that is a penalty that will kill you. And especially if you're Coach Baggs on the sideline, you've got a makeable 3rd and 4. Now you're 3rd down and 7 or 8. So a very tough situation here on 3rd down for Coach Keith Corona, the offensive coordinator for the Tigers. Nonetheless, still, Independence will probably go for it here on 4th if they don't make it on 3rd.
Well, it definitely is 2-down territory with Amite leading 13-0 with 8:56 to go before half, and Independence having the ball in Amite territory on the 22-yard line. So it will be 2-down territory for the Tigers.
3rd down, call it 8. Sieber will hand off Dawson, and there's a flag down. That's probably going to be holding on the Tigers. And this will be very interesting to see if the Warriors take this penalty, Marty. If you don't take it, it'll be 4th down and about 5. If you do take it, it'll probably be 3rd down and about 20. So they'll probably take the penalty.
And now the penalties are starting to go against Independence, Mark. It's, you know, I didn't see anything from our vantage point. Of course, in any level of football, you can call a holding on any play, and right there it must have been an obvious holding because the referees did call it. So that'll back them up, and it'll bring out a 3rd down and 18, like you said, Mark. So very tough break right there for the Tigers. And one good thing the Amite defenders are doing is Chris Gordon, the linebacker, if you're going to hit Brandon Dawson, you got to hit him low, and because you're not going to hit him head on, you got to take his knees out.
Very good observation, Marty. 3rd down and about 19 or 20 here to go for the 1st down, and the Tigers, again, probably 2-down situation. You don't have to get it all in one chunk. Here's Sieber. Play action, being rushed heavily, and he's going to go down under a ferocious Amite rush, and the Tigers were outmanned at the line of scrimmage, and Sieber is sacked, and now they'll have to punt the football.
Well, most certainly, and that's a wrinkle you hadn't seen. Donald Career comes with the he comes with the linebacker blitz, and right there, Chris Gordon making the tackle. So Amite withstanding the Independence onslaught.
Right there, Marty, Independence going play action, and there's no way play action is going to fool anybody on 3rd and 20, and that allowed the Warriors time to get upfield and make the sack on Sieber, and now Antron's going to have to punt the football standing at his 48-yard line. So Hornsby deep to receive. Sieber gets a foot into it. It's a line drive, a returnable ball, and it'll go into the end zone. So right there, Hornsby had plenty of running room, and he decided to return that football, but it goes into the end zone, and Amite bends but does not break on defense.
Well, they certainly did, Mark, and right now in the 1st half, it's been all Amite, and Independence has got to get a turnover, Mark, some kind of big play to get back in this ball game.
Well, the big thing, Marty, they were able to keep their defense on the sidelines for about 5 minutes, so that's big in of itself, whether they score or not, and hopefully for the Tigers, they can make some adjustments during that 5 minutes on the sidelines. Amite will spread the field 3 wides to the left. And in motion is Terrell, and this is Brumfield fighting ahead for about 1. Fumble on the play, and let's see who's on the bottom of the pile. Tigers come out with it, and it's a turnover. Independence gets the break you just talked about.
Well, I just talked about needing a big break, and Leonard Brumfield trying to get extra yardage, fumbles the ball, and that's the break the Tigers needed, Mark.
Yes, it is. And Independence is in pretty good shape here. 1st down and 10 at the 22 or 3-yard line after the fumble by Brumfield. And I'm not sure who stripped the football for the Tigers, but they were swarming all around it. And Independence has it, 1st and 10. 7:14 to play in the 1st half. Sieber on a three-step drop, fires it. It's complete to Joseph at the 18-yard line, and now one of the officials comes in and calls it incomplete. And that's a pretty tough angle to see. It looked like he caught the ball and fell down, but the official that's about 30 yards away from the football comes in and calls it incomplete.
Well, I quite don't understand that, Mark. From our vantage point, it did look like he caught the ball, but the back judge made the call, so it'll be down 2nd down and 10 for Independence with 7:06 to go before halftime, and Amite leading 13-0.
2nd down and 10. Ball at the 22-yard line. Sieber, three-step drop. Fires it complete, wide open. Jeremy Cooper inside the 10, down to the 3, and that's a play that the Independence coaches felt like they could exploit on Amite in this ball game, and that was a pretty good chance right there to use it with the middle of the field open.
Well, that was a great play call. They kind of set him up with a little out route and fake it, and Jeremy Cooper runs a little slanting pattern, and Independence in business as they have it 1st and goal at the Amite 3-yard line.
Ball inside the 5 at about the 3 or 4 yard line. Hard to see exactly where, but the Tigers have it. Here's Dawson. He'll carry in for the touchdown for the Tigers, Brandon Dawson, and goes off the right side. Had a big hole over the right side, and that was blocking over there by Big Gary Rishu and Brett Angelo.
It was a big hole and a nice job by Dawson, so both teams have kind of settled in now, Mark, and we got us a ball game.
Yes, we do. Good football game. Independence, who fell behind 13-0, comes back and answers with the touchdown. Tigers will go for the extra point, something they threw into the mix last week, and Sieber will make the kick here, or attempt the kick, I should say. Lionel Joseph will hold. And the kick is blocked, and the Warriors came right up the middle to block that one.
And that was a very important block right there by Amite, as Independence will have to go for 2. Well, now they'll have to make the PAT again, but another score and another PAT off the kick will not give them the lead, only the tie. So with 6:39 to go before half, we'll take time to hear from some of our sponsors. Tonight's game being brought to you by Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Have you been injured in an accident? Call Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Travis R. Amar handles a wide variety of personal injury litigation, including slip and falls and auto accidents. For all your personal injury needs, call Travis Amar, attorney at law, in Hammond.
So what started off, Marty, that looked like would be a long night for Independence has kind of tightened up here with 6:39 to play. In the first half, your score 13, Independence 6, 6:39 to play. Sieber will kick for the Tigers. Deep to receive is Perry and Hornsby. And this ball will be into the end zone where Perry will field it. But again, Sieber able to drive the ball deep. And Amite will start on the 20-yard line. So, Marty, both teams have had to earn their keep here tonight. Independence has had to start 2 drives deep in their territory. Amite's had to start 2 drives deep in their territory. And both offenses have done a pretty good job tonight.
Well, they have, Mark. And Amite getting that one big play, the play that I don't know if anybody could have stopped, as it was such good trickery. They had everybody in the house confused, and Damian Thompson was wide open. But like you say, both teams have settled in, and we talk about a game of turnovers, and you cannot have them. And so far, Amite has the second turnover of the game, and Independence capitalized.
First down and 10, Warriors. Ball at the 20. Here is Perry on a crackback block, but he's going to be hemmed in and breaks ahead. And my goodness, one of the Independence defenders was nailed right in the back in front of, my goodness, he was, I don't know how he didn't get killed on that play, Marty. He was hammered on the crackback, and credit right there, Oscar Perry. Nice job keeping his feet who made something out of nothing, looked like it was going to be hit for maybe a loss or no gain. He picked up 6.
Well, he did, and it looks like Independence has solved that speed play as they had about 6 guys around that play. So it was successful that time, Mark, but let's see if it can keep being successful.
Unbelievable block. I couldn't quite see who it was. My goodness, he wiped the defender out on the play. 5:52 and counting. 2nd down, 4. This is Brumfield straight ahead for nothing, and he'll be stacked up by Gerald Franklin and also Derek Hunter. So Brumfield finding tough going there for the Warriors. Tigers are down on the field. Let's see if they are okay. They are. Also Antoine Smith on the tackle. Give him about 2 yards on the carry. And Brumfield's a load, Marty, going about 220. He gets those feet driving. He's hard to bring down.
He is a load, Mark, but I tell you what, the front of the interior of the Independence defense is doing an outstanding job as they are just not allowing Amite to run anything inside.
This is Wagner on the quarterback keeper, and he'll hammer it upfield for the 1st down. Picks up about 5, so a naked bootleg there by Wagner picks up the 1st down. So the Warriors move the chains once again out to the 35-yard line.
And folks, I'm going to tell you, there is just some great hitting going on here tonight as for the Independence Tigers, Charles Tofield came up and laid a lick on Brandon Wagner, but Amite was able to pick up the 1st down, so they move it to their own 35-yard line with 4:40 to go before halftime.
The Warriors moving the football, picking up 15 yards on this drive, and they'll spread the field, no backs. Here's Wagner. He'll throw the football, fires it incomplete. Had Hornsby wide open at the 45, but the ball was a little bit inside, and there was Mike Washington on the coverage, and the ball falls incomplete. So that's just the 2nd pass attempted here tonight by the Amite Warriors.
And Mark, that was another good play call by Amite as Esco Hornsby had a beat on Washington, and had he caught it, it looked like he had some running room, but Wagner just could throw it a little behind him, and so to bring up 2nd down and 10 for Amite as they lead 13-6 with 4:28 to go before halftime as we are packed in Russell Memorial Stadium.
2nd down and 10. Man in motion. This is a give, and that'll be Brumfield, I believe, on the carry. Or is that Terrell? And it is, and he'll have a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 7. Nice play in there by the Independence Tiger defense. Copeland and company on the tackle will bring up 3rd down and 7. 4:09 and counting here in the 1st half.
So a critical 3rd down right now for the Independence defense with 4:01 to go. If they can get a stop and get the ball back, or a good defensive stand, they'll have a chance to either take the lead at half or tie this thing up. And right now, to tell you how serious it's gotten, Antron Sieber is playing defense.
And he will on 3rd down situations. 3rd down and 7. There's a reverse pass again to Thompson. This is going to be intercepted by Mike Washington. And Washington intercepts it, and he better cover it up for the Tigers' sake, and he does. He had that ball out like a loaf of bread, and he slammed to the ground. It looked like that was Hornsby on the tackle, but again, the Tigers went to the well once too often. They had that play covered. If he throws it deeper, though, he might have been behind coverage.
Well, he would have. You're right, Mark. It looked like he had a step or two on the defenders, and that's the same play that they had a guy wide open, but a nice adjustment by Independence. And right now, Mark, we are getting in that time of the game before halftime where Independence will score here. We'll be knotted up.
The Tigers with their 2nd turnover of the game. Compliments to the Amite Warriors have it at the 48-yard line. This will be Dawson with a lot of running room over the right side, and he'll have 5. Or 4 yards as that hole closed quickly. My goodness, Chris Gordon and James Thomas, they have such foot speed, Marty. They're able to shut that thing down after it looked like it was going to be a little bit better yardage than that.
Well, it did look like he had a big opening, but it closed quickly, like you said. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6 for Independence as it is marched down to the 2:59 minute before half.
And this ball game has turned into another classic so far here in the first half. 2nd down and 6. Here's Sieber, and he breaks outside. Still on his feet. He'll go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, and that ball was a busted play at the line of scrimmage. Looked like it was going to be a quarterback sneak. He fumbled the football, and the right side of the Amite defense kind of caved down inside on what looked like a quarterback sneak. He's able to get outside for the first down.
And just outstanding. I mean, words can't describe the effort right there by Sieber. He just did a great job, Mark. I mean, just a great athletic individual move by Antron Sieber to pick up the first down and more.
Well, the ball is at the 33-yard line. 1st down and 10 Tigers after the interception by Mike Washington. 2:37 to play in the first half. Fans are on their feet here at Russell Memorial Stadium. Sieber hands off Dawson. He'll have a hole, and another hold is called as Dawson breaks outside. But this one will come back as another holding call will be the case against the Independence Tigers.
Well, I'm sure that will be the penalty. That's the only thing it could be, but that's going to nullify a great run by Brandon Dawson if that is the call, and that's what it'll be. It'll be a holding call on Independence. And my God, Mark, I mean, you get 2 big plays and nullified by hold.
And Marty, that flag came out almost immediately at the snap of the football, so apparently it was pretty obvious. Anytime an official throws a flag that emphatically, it's probably a takedown in the middle of that offensive line, and obviously there was a pretty big hole to run through as well.
Well, no doubt about it, and like you say, that the flag did come out immediately, so it was the right call, we presume. So it brings up 2nd down, and from our vantage point, 16, it must have been from the spot of the foul.
Yes, it was. 1st down and 15. Tigers with the football. Sieber, quarterback sneak, and he won't have anything. And the interior of the Independence offensive line were just pushed back into the backfield, and Amite has no middle linebacker right there, so it's a pretty good play call by the Tigers, but the interior, the Amite defensive front just blew that play up in their face.
Well, they did, and like you say, when you come up to the line as a quarterback and you don't see a middle linebacker, that would be the correct call, and it was good recognition by Sieber, but Amite somehow just got great interior push up front.
That's basically just a dead play, nothing on the carry, and it'll bring up 2nd down. And the Warriors look like they're coming here. Sieber, 3-step drop, and he has plenty of running room. Breaks outside, has close to 1st down yardage, and they'll say he has it down to about the 23-yard line. So Antron Sieber, and Marty, that's something that the last couple of times we've seen, he's tried to break outside, but that time he took it back up the middle for yardage.
And right now, Mark, Independence offense having a lot of trouble against Amite's defense, but Antron Sieber's just saying, come on, guys, I'm going to carry you.
And Sieber has the ball at the 23-yard line. Tigers driving with 1:10 to play. And this will be Dawson, has running room around the left side, and he'll have about 3 on the carry. And again, Thomas making a nice stop defensively, and my goodness, he's all over the place along the defensive front. So after the Indy timeout, it's 2nd down and a long 8. Tigers are driving here inside the 25-yard line of the Warriors, trailing 13-6, 54 seconds to play in what has been a very entertaining first half. Sieber on the reverse, and the ball was fumbled and covered there by Lionel Joseph, and that play was going nowhere from the start as Amite was not biting on the reverse.
Well, no, they weren't, Mark, and trying to trick Amite a little bit right there on the reverse play, and Sieber just did not get a good handoff to Best, and consequently the ball was fumbled, so it will be a 3rd down and 16 for Independence. And I believe they have 1 timeout to go, and they are in a hurry-up mode with 22 seconds to go before half.
20 seconds and counting, and a flag is down. And it looks like the Tigers lined up offsides again. or moved or something. Seaver very upset. And they probably need to call a timeout here, Marty, if you're Coach Baggs, because the clock's going to start as soon as the official blows the whistle. And they will call a timeout. And with that timeout, we'll hear from some of our sponsors. People's Bank of Louisiana with 4 offices, full-service banking. Amite, Greensburg, Kentwood, Franklinton, and opening soon in Hammond, member FDIC. And also Field of Dreams Baseball School, owned and operated by Jason Skip Aglio. Skip also works for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's across the street from Trafton Academy on Cherry Street in Hammond. And they'll have full-arm motion pitching machines, a full-size regulation Major League diamond, also batting cages, and they'll have college and pro instructors coming in from time to time throughout the year. So you can join on a membership basis. That's Field of Dreams Baseball School, owned and operated by Jason Skip Aglio. Call 878-9415. And Marty, Independence gets the turnover. They bang the ball down inside the Amite 20, but from that point on, they've gone backwards.
Well, yes, they have, Mark, and the holding penalty, of course, was a big key, and then the offsides right there. So right now, 3rd down and 20 for the first.
Seaver, play action. Fires the ball, has a receiver, and it's intercepted in the end zone. The flag has been thrown on somebody. I can't quite see who, and if it's on Independence, that's a big break. Let's see what happened here. The flag's going to be a dead ball flag, Marty, and somebody is guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, I think that's just a case of a young man kind of getting excited, Mark, and the referee calling a penalty, and had he taken his helmet off or gotten somebody else's face, he just made a good play and got excited. I think that is a stupid call on the referee's part.
I'm not sure if he spiked the ball or not. He was in the end zone, and it was kind of tough to see. The flag came out way after the play, but nonetheless, the Warriors have it. They'll probably, Marty, just take a knee here, I would think, and be content to go in the locker room up 13-6. And Wagner will do just that. That'll be the final play of a very, very entertaining first half. With your score, Amite 13 and Independence 6. We'll be back with a halftime show. You're watching Florida Appearances Television, Channel 17.
field tonight. Outstanding band members are Nate Alpherson, Drew Caprere, and drum major Angel Allison. Outstanding flag corps member is Tasha Thomas. Officer of the Month, Renee Rayburn. Outstanding Wahoo for the Assumption Game, Negatha Wilson, freshman. Opelousas Game, Kenyatta Richardson, sophomore. And tonight's game, Paige Enzyme, junior. Outstanding Wahoo officer for September is Suzanne Lee, senior, co-captain. Amy will conclude tonight's show with the Amy Warrior Fight song. Everyone stand up and sing along and show that warrior spirit.
Marty Morgan's back. Getting ready for the second half. Amite leading Independence by a score of 13-6 in what started out, Marty, looking like what would maybe an Amite romp, going up 13-0 early in the first quarter. Independence really doing nothing the entire first quarter, only had it 4 plays. Amite dominated completely. Tides turned with a couple of turnovers. Independence able to get a pretty big drive out of their own territory. Turned it over on downs, got it back on a turnover, punched in a touchdown, got it right back, had a chance to tie the game before the first half was over. It ended up being a well-played first half on both sides.
Well, it really was. Like you say, it looked like Amite had the opportunity to maybe get a big lead and run away with this thing, but I think Independence, as all good teams do, settled in and just made a few adjustments, and now they're right back in the ball game and getting the ball. And, you know, if you're Amite defensively, you got to find a way to solve Antron Siebers. He is continuing to scramble and get away, and that's a problem for Amite. And if you're Independence, you got to stop the speed play. So 12 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Amite leading 13-6.
This will be Brandon Dawson on the return for the Tigers. He has a little bit of running room, runs over defender, and is down at about the 26 or 7-yard line. And their Tigers will have it, first down and 10. Amite received the opening kickoff after the Tigers deferred. Amite's opening drive was very successful, got the ball inside Tiger territory before they turned it over on downs. Independence, first play of the game, turned it right back over. Amite drives 55 yards for their first touchdown. Independence goes 3 and out next possession, and Amite hits a reverse pass to Damian Thompson wide open for another touchdown, and Amite dominated the first quarter. Independence came back on a nice drive of their own to cut the lead to 13-6. Here's an option. Here's Sieber on the keeper, and he has about 2. So what looked like might have been a pretty good play there at the outset, closed up quickly by this very fast and physical Amite defense. Could not see who made the tackle all the way across the field, but nonetheless, the Tigers will have it second down and call it a long 8 yards to go for the first down.
So it'll bring up second down and 8 for Independence, Mark, and Independence mixing it up nicely offensively, throwing the ball, running the ball, running the option more than I've seen. So it's a good wrinkle that Independence has put in for this week's game.
Sieber, second down, 3-step drop, fires it complete. That's Joseph wide open and has the first down as he did a nice job there on Carlos Burns. Got Burns turned inside, he turns outside, and Sieber threw it before the break right on the money.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's what you got to do. You got to throw it before the break. And that's what I like to call Independence's bread and butter, play the little out route. And like we talked about earlier, if you get it anywhere close to Lionel Joseph, he'll catch it, and just a nice throw and catch. That play's hard to stop, Mark.
Well, it is, especially when you have a receiver as talented as Joseph who can run precise routes and has good hands. And you got a quarterback that can get it there. 1st and 10 from the 41. Here's Sieber. This will be a counter sweep to Dawson, and he fights ahead for about 5. And again, what looked like a pretty big hole is closed down by big number 64, Nate Thomas. And all things considered, Amite made out pretty well on that play, just a 7-yard gain.
Well, you're right, all things considered. From our vantage point, of course, it came to our side. It looked like he had a gaping hole, but the quickness of the Amite defense closed it up. So right now, Independence picking up a first down, and on their initial other first down, they pick up 8 yards. So I don't know the adjustments that they made, but the first 3 plays looked pretty good for the Tigers.
2nd down and 3. Here's the dive option. That's Dawson. Spins off and is in the Amite secondary. And Brandon Dawson, who is a bullish runner, Marty. He's very similar to Amite's Leonard Brumfield. He's only 5'8", but he goes 215 pounds, and he runs with such authority. And right there you saw what he can do.
And you're right, Mark. He kept pumping those legs and going. And Independence, Mark, moving in Amite territory, and usually what dictates ball games are the first 5 minutes of the second half, and right now Independence is winning that battle, and Amite's got to do something defensively, because if Independence just comes out and drives it down their throat, they will have the momentum, and Amite will be in shock.
Sieber on the option keeper. He's sacked in the backfield. And Marty, right there, Sieber reads the dive play, and it looked like he might have been better off giving it instead of keeping it, and they give him forward momentum all the way up to the 39. That's a big break for Independence. And I tell you what, that is, I don't know, it looked like he gave up some ground, and right there Independence comes out with 4 more yards than they probably should have.
Well, that's what the referee saw, and they've been doing a good job, as both sides have been besieged by a few big penalties.
Here's Sieber, has a tight end over the middle, and it's incomplete. Actually, that was Giacone who was wide open early, and Sieber just waited a little bit too long to feed him the football, and coming in to break it up was number 6, I believe, for Amite, and that was Quincy Milland, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long. So Independence, who has moved the football quite well here, has driven it about 40 yards here to start the half, finds himself in 3rd and long.
So it will be 3rd down and long, and I would look for Sieber to roll out and probably look for his tight end Cooper, as he has been thus far the guy that's given Amite the most trouble, although he's only caught 1 pass, but he's been open.
Here's Sieber, back to pass. He'll escape 1 defender. Gets outside and runs upfield, and is hit hard and brought down at about the 33 or 34 yard line. How did he get out of that? And Dedrick Buckles laid a big hat on him at the 34 yard line.
How did he get out of that? I mean, that's just great individual athletic ability. I sound like a broken record, but Antron Sieber just continues to escape. Amite Warriors coming after him, and this young man, Mark, is all that he's made up to be and more.
Great escapability there, but the Tigers have it 4th down and 5 at the 34 yard line. A big play here for the Tigers. Sieber drops back, fires it, complete. Joseph dropped the football. And Lionel Joseph had it. Don't know if he would have had enough yardage for the 1st down, but when he tried to escape the defender, the ball, he kind of juggled it, and it came out, and they meet right there, but bends but does not break.
Well, they did bend, but they didn't break, and once again, a great call by Independence. Their bread and butter play, but Joseph trying to make a move to get the 1st down, and he just could not hold on to the ball, so Amite takes over in fairly good field position at their own 34 yard line, and now the Independence defense, Mark, has got to step up, as they showed late in the second half that they kind of shut down Amite a little bit, and Wagner somewhat confused, and Amite's going to have to burn a timeout. In a game like this, you don't want to do that.
Well, when I first saw Wagner coming over to the sidelines, I thought it was going to be one of those old trick plays where he had a direct snap to somebody else, but he was definitely confused and made the timeout call. And as you said, you hate to burn your timeouts on your first offensive play, but nonetheless, let's hear from some of our sponsors as we hear from People's Bank of Louisiana with 3 locations in the Tangipahoa Parish area: Amite, Greensburg, Kentwood, and Franklinton. That make that 4 locations in the Florida parishes area. Opening soon in Hammond, member FDIC, that's People's Bank of Louisiana. Also Field of Dreams baseball school, owned and operated by Jason Skip Maglio on Cherry Street across from Trafton Academy. So out of the timeout, Amite has it 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. This is the speed to Terrell. Cuts it back inside and has about 5 yards. And right there, Independence making the adjustment defensively, but Terrell able to slow himself down, cut it inside, and knife his way for 5.
Yes, Mark, and that's a little wrinkle that we hadn't seen from Amite, as usually when they do the speed play, they keep it to the outside, but right there, cutting it back inside, and nice adjustments on both teams.
So a 5-yard gain on 1st down. It's 2nd and 5. Warriors with a football, leading by 7 points, 13-6. Here's a reverse, and it's snuffed out in the backfield. Derek Hunter all over Lee Terrell for a 4-yard loss. Or no, they're going to call that no gain. They'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage, and we saw Independence get a pretty favorable spot earlier. That was a pretty favorable spot for the AB Warriors.
Well, yeah, it was, Mark. I guess turnabout is fair play, but, you know, Derek Hunter right there, that's 2 great plays that he's made, and they got to find a way to block the big fella as he is getting in there unmolested.
Well, actually, it is a loss on the play because it's 3rd down. He lost about 3 yards, so I have my line of scrimmage mixed up there. Amite with a football. Wagner on the reverse. This is Oscar Perry. Cuts it inside and slips and falls to 41. If he does not slip Marty Morgan, that goes for big, big yardage.
Well, it did, but I don't know what the call was. It may be an illegal motion against Amite, and that's what it'll be, so it'll surely be declined. Or do you have to take the penalty? I'm not abreast on the rules of high school football as much as I should be, as they change them every year.
Well, if it's a dead ball foul, you have to take it because it's dead. But if it's not a dead ball foul, you know, probably bring up a 4th and about 2, and looks like Independence is going to take it. I don't know here, Marty. If you take the penalty, it's going to be 3rd down and 12. If you decline the penalty, it's 4th down and about 2 or 3, and Amite probably punts the football. Independence is going to choose to take it, and that's going to be interesting strategy here, as that gives Amite essentially another down here to pick up the 1st down.
Well, yeah, yes, it does, Mark, but it may have been a dead ball foul. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
So, and I think that they had to take the penalty. So, you know, a great call. They're coaches, and they know the rules better than we do. So, and it is the correct call by Coach Bagley and his staff.
So 3rd down and 13. Here's Wagner. Drops back, fires it, complete, 1st down. And that's what I'm talking about right there, Marty. You basically give them one more chance to pick up the 1st down, and they hit it, and they have it at the 49-yard line. And again, we're not sure if that was dead ball or not a dead ball, but that could be a key play in this ball game.
And right there, Lee Terrell lined up on his right side wing and ran a slant pattern that Amite very seldom run, that they may have put in for this game. Is usually the wingback just sprints straight down the field, and Wagner put it right on the money, and that was a great catch in traffic by Terrell.
Here's Wagner on the quarterback keeper, and he'll dive ahead for about 4. So a big, big momentum shift there for the Amite Warriors as they pick up the 1st down, and Wagner dives ahead for 5. So bring up 2nd down, call it a long 5 or 6. Amite in Independence territory, driving the football. Now Downing late getting into the ball game. Here's Perry. This will be the speed to Perry around the right side, and he is stuffed for a gain of 1. So that's the first time, Marty, we've seen that formation this half, and Independence has made the adjustment in the halftime locker room.
Well, they did make the adjustment, and I'm going to tell you what, I got the numbers a little mixed up, but somebody came in there and just laid a lick on Perry, and he's fortunate he did not fumble the ball. So it brings up a 3rd down and 5 for Amite with 4:37 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Amite clinging to a 13-6 lead.
So 3rd down and 4. Hornsby in motion. Here's a keeper. Wagner is stopped for no gain. So the Independence defense stiffens. That's Todoro and Big Antoine Smith on the stop, and it'll bring up 4th down. And Amite will probably bring on the punting unit here. And so Independence will, in all likelihood, get the football here. But they meet with a chance to pin them here, and Brandon Richardson will do the punting for Amite. Back deep for Independence, Otto Bond.
And right there, that was a good job by Independence defense as they stiffened up, as Amite got into their half. Richardson gets a nice punt off of about 40 yards, and it is rolling, and it is going to roll into the end zone. It is very close, but it goes into the end zone, so Independence gets a break, and they'll get the ball on their own 20-yard line, Mark. And we've got a good one brewing here in Russell Memorial Stadium.
And, Marty, what a tough break for Amite right there. That ball barely rolled into the end zone from our vantage point. That was one heck of an effort there by Brandon Richardson to nearly get that ball down inside the 5. So Independence, as Amite did on their first possession, bends a little bit, does not break. Tigers will have the football. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Tigers, a lot of success in their opening drive of the half, marching it down inside Amite territory before turning it over on downs. Sieber on the give. This is Dawson, and he'll bang his way ahead for about 1 or 2, and we have an injured Tiger down on the ground. That's Gary Rishu, who's one of the very young members of this Independence offensive line, and that's something we don't talk a lot about, Marty. Independence is very young on offense, starting 3 sophomores and a junior along the offensive front. Just a gain of 1. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. 3:09 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Tigers better hurry here to get this play out of the huddle. They got it in a little bit late, and under 10 seconds now. 2nd down and 9. Sieber calls for it, hands it off. This is Dawson. Big hole. Breaks outside into the Amite secondary, running over Warford to midfield, and a flag comes down, and that's probably going to be a face mask tacked on top of a big run by Brandon Dawson.
And Mark, just when you think Independence is pinned back, Brandon Dawson just barrels his way, carrying tacklers, and Mark, I think they're going to tack on 15, and Brandon Dawson in the 2nd half, Mark, has really come out running the ball hard as he broke to the outside and cut back across the grain, and that right there is going to give Independence great field position on a Brandon Dawson 30-yard run, add on additional 15, and they're at the Amite 35-yard line.
And Marty, he really laid waste to Patrick Warford up around the 40-yard line and carried him an extra 10 yards, and my goodness, how strong is Brandon Dawson. The Tigers have it inside Amite territory again at the 35-yard line. Under 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Sieber calls for it and hands it off to Dawson. A huge hole over left side, but it closes down quickly again. And that's James Brown, I believe, coming from the backside, but not before Dawson gets 4. The Tigers finding some success running the football now against the Amite defensive front. And Dawson has had a big night here in the 2nd half. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Ball at the, about the 31 or 30-yard line. Sieber gives. Dawson spins off one tackler, still breaking tackles, and makes about 3 yards out of absolutely nothing.
And Brandon Dawson just refuses to give up, Mark, and you can't hit him up high. you got to hit him below his knees, around the waist, and they're hitting him up high, and he's just breaking a race. So Brandon Dawson right now is just a one-man show here late in the third quarter.
But again, Amite defense puts Independence in another third down situation here. Third down and a long 3, maybe 4 yards to go for the first down. And I'm sure the Tigers will use 2 downs here to get it. And Sieber hands off Dawson. And he breaks another tackle and forges ahead for about 1 or 2. And this is going to make it a 4th down and very close. Probably about 2 yards to go, and Dawson is down for the Tigers. Looks like he got his knee twisted up there, and he's slow getting up. And that is a huge, huge injury for the Tigers if he can't continue.
Well, Mark, he's not coming out of the game. He's telling them, I'm not coming out. I don't care if I got a broken leg. Brandon Dawson is just sucking it up, and he is a man.
The final play of the third quarter with your score, Amite 13, Independence 6. Back after this timeout. Sieber is in the ball game after suffering what appeared to be a cramp, Marty. And the thing about cramps, Marty, they don't go away. Once you get one, and play.
He just single-handedly making great athletic individual moves to escape the Amite rush, and right there he almost got it to the sure-handed David Giacone, because David Giacone, at the games I've seen, will not drop a pass.
So now you're in a 2nd and 10 situation. That's something Independence hasn't been in much of this half. So 2nd down and 10, ball at the 21. 11:52 to play in the ball game. Here's Sieber. Hands off Dawson. Hit in the backfield. Amite on 2nd and 10, able to pin their ears back. And Dawson goes down, and now he has a cramp. So the 2 main weapons on the Tigers' offense right now are a little bit gimpy.
Yeah, but I just think that they're maybe a little tired right now, Mark, as they have been on the field offensively, it seems, the entire second half. So Amite defense getting a little tired as you see some hands on the hips. And right now, down in 13 with 11 minutes to go. We got a brewing here now.
For it. Now looks downfield, gets upfield, and is dropped. And Independence has no time at all to throw the football. It is absolutely. Sieber is able to get in. Throw the football, Marty. He's got 4 and 5 Warriors hanging all over.
He does, Mark, and I hate to keep saying this, but he's a highlight film in itself. I mean, he's Baryshnikov in cleats.
Well, he has been tonight, and how he didn't get sacked for about a 10 or 15-yard loss there is amazing. So again,
what do you do? Do you go to Lionel Joseph? Do you go to Jaconi? Do you hit Cooper? What does Baglio do? 4th and 11, 10 minutes to go.
we'll find out on this play.
I like that answer.
And the Tigers call a timeout. This is a very big play here for Independence.
And tonight's game being brought to you by Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Have you been injured in an accident? Call Travis R. Amar, attorney at law. Travis R. Amar handles a wide variety of personal injury litigation, including slip and falls and auto accidents. For all your personal injury needs, call Travis Rolling Amar in Hammond. Tonight's game also being brought to you by Circle A Hardware, located in Albany, 1 block past Hancock Bank. Circle A Hardware is your place for building a home, remodeling, fence, anything you need for home improvement. Circle A Hardware also specializes in mobile home parts, 200 amp poles that are Entergy and Demco approved for only $269. In Albany, it's Circle A Hardware, 567-5453.
So the Tigers, who drove the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line, have stalled here, and Amite's defense is stiffened. And this is perhaps the biggest play of the football game right here. 4th down for the Tigers, trailing by 7. And with the way the Independence kicking game has gone, Marty, it's almost assuredly they would have, if they were to score, would have to go for 2. And so you almost got to think about 2 scores here. 4th down and 11. Sieber play action, being pressured again. Rolls out, fires it up. This is going to be incomplete. And a late hit out of bounds. No call, I don't believe. They did get the flag, and this Independence will have a 1st down on the late hit on Sieber out of bounds. And that is a huge break for the Tigers. And again, the Amite defensive front is coming like a sea of purple after Antron Sieber.
And Mark, I mean, that was roughing the quarterback, and I don't know if he was out of bounds or not from our vantage point, but if he was, it was the correct call, and that will give Independence a 1st down, and what a huge play in this game.
Well, Marty Antron, he ended up around the fence. So, you know, he got nailed out of, whether it was out of bounds or not, we can't see it from here. But nonetheless, he got up from around the fence. And anytime you get hit that hard, it's always a chance you can draw a flag. And that's unfortunate for Amite, because that's 4 big personal foul penalties in this ball game. And it's tough to win when you have those kind of penalties. Tigers with new life. Dawson, hole over the right side, breaks the tackle, touchdown Tigers. Dawson running into the end zone from the 10, and we have a new football game. And we talked about changes in momentum, and Independence right there getting second life by the personal foul penalty out of bounds.
And that's unfortunate for Amite, but fortunate for Independence. So Brandon Dawson has been the story in the second half, as he has been a bull. And we'll see if Independence chooses to kick the PAT, which I believe they will, or go for 2. But it looks to me like they'll kick the PAT, as it is Amite 13 and Independence 12, Mark, and you couldn't ask for a better game.
Well, no, you couldn't. Independence, who really just started kicking points last week. Sieber has a good leg, but see if they can contain here. This to tie the ball game. Snap is bobbled, picked up by Sieber, has running room, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. And what a backbreaker on a bobbled snap. And my goodness, how snake-bit can you be if you're the Amite Warriors? They had him stopped in the backfield, and the magician, Antron Sieber, scores the 2-point conversion. My, oh, my.
And, Mark, that's just, I'm left speechless. That's just another great individual play by Sieber. And you got to tip your hats to Independence. They fighting and fighting and hanging in here, and all of a sudden, one call on a personal personal foul, and Independence has taken the lead.
Well, let me say this. The Amite Warriors are certainly capable, as they showed in the first half, of coming right back. They're very explosive. So if you're a Warrior fan, you still got to be holding your head high for your troops. Had a great defensive stand nullified by a personal foul, and they'll have the football and a chance to answer. So Sieber, who is absolutely exhausted on the field, will kick off. So you got to feel like Amite's probably going to get a chance for a return here. So if you're Independence, you got to get down the field and cover with the likes of Perry and Hornsby and Terrell deep to receive. Sieber to kick off. 9:54 to play in the ball game. Just a foot into it, this one will go out of bounds, and Amite will either let him kick it again, or they'll have it at the 35. I'm sure they'll take it at the 35.
So, Mark, a break for the Warriors in this crazily played second half as they have the ball at the 35-yard line as the ball goes out of bounds. So we'll see if Amite responds, Mark, with 9:54 to go in the game, and it's been a great one.
Yes, it has. Independence has battled back from a 13-0 deficit early in the first quarter to take the lead, the first lead of the ball game. But Amite with a chance to respond here with a drive of their own, and they're going to go in a tight formation here. There's Hornsby on the carry, and he's hit for no gain, maybe a loss. That's Otto Bonds who comes up along with Antoine Smith to make the tackle. And it's second down and 11 on a big stop there defensively.
And Mark, it's an obvious change of momentum right now, and Independence has all the momentum on their side, and Amite's just got to ignore what happened in that last drive and just bow up and do what they've done the whole game.
Well, they're a tested ball club, no question about it. And they have athletes on their side of the field. Second down and 11 at the 34-yard line. Here's Wagner. Keeps the football, has some room. And he gets up for the first down and up near midfield to the 49. So Brandon Wagner on the quarterback keeper, and he has a Warrior first down.
Well, we talk about Antoine Sieber and his running ability, but right there, Brandon Wagner, he takes it into his own hands and picks up a nice 15-yard gain as Amite has moved it close to the midfield strike. And boy, my nerves can't handle this, Mark.
Tell you what, no matter if you're a Tiger or a Warrior fan, you've got to be excited about this football game. And here is Brumfield, and he fumbles the football, but an alert Tim Downing is there to fall on it. And a huge break for the Warriors. Downing right there. Johnny on the spot to make the play.
And right there, Brumfield had some running room, but thank goodness for the Amite Warriors that Downing was there, or Independence definitely would have had more momentum and great field position with the lead. So it brings up a second down and 9, and this is becoming somewhat of a chess match.
Well, yes, it is, and it has been since this game began, and certainly the ball tweaking at midfield. Second down and 9. Amite on the move. Here's Wagner. Big block. Cuts it inside for no gain. And right there on the stop was Devarius Best. And Independence better be careful not to get a celebration penalty after the tackle. And it'll bring up third down and 9. And this, a big play, perhaps the biggest play of the football game.
Well, yes, it is, because it's getting to that point where you don't know how many more opportunities you're going to have if you're Amite as they trail by 1. So it is a big third down and 9 for Amite.
Ball resting on the 50-yard line. The crowd is fired up, and Amite calls their second timeout. And again, we go back to the timeout situation. Amite with just 1 remaining, and that could be crucial toward the end of the ball game.
Well, it could, Mark, especially as close as this game is. But I think Coach Donald Ferrer wants to make sure he has everything in check on this crucial third down play, as this game has lived up to everything we've asked and more, and a crucial third down play with 7:32 to go in the ball game. And Mark, people are on the edge of their seats as we are.
Well, yes, they are, and who wouldn't be? I don't care if you're a fan who drove out of town. A lot of times this game attracts fans from all over the state, and I'm sure there are people here tonight to see both of these teams play, and it's always a great football game, no matter what. So 3rd down and 9, and the Amite Warrior fans are on their feet here at Russell Memorial Stadium. Has Hornsby in motion, drops back to throw, has the pass broken up. And again, possibly a touchdown saving play by Devarius Best, who got a hand on it. And let's see what Donald Career chooses to do here. There's 7:27 to play. Do you go for it here or do you punt it? You only have one timeout.
Mark, I think you punt it and pin them back. Your defense has played great all game. You got to punt the ball.
And right here, Marty, you punt the football and play field position. You hope your defense gets you the ball back. And probably in pretty good shape. Independence is going to be probably pinned back here, I would do believe. Richardson to punt, standing at his 37-yard line. Nobody back for Independence. Richardson gets this one away, and it's a good kick. And it's going to bounce and roll, and it's going to check up at the 4 or 5-yard line, and that's why you punt the football, Marty Morgan.
Well, they did. That's a great break for Amite, as they needed a break, as they haven't gotten many in this second half. So it's come down to this, 7-16. Can Amite's defense hold Brandon Dawson and Antron Sieber and company?
And Marty, this game is eerily similar to 1992. Independence got a lead, and Amite continually backed Independence up into their territory, and Independence dodged several bullets in that ball game. A couple of turnovers, they were able to survive. And right here, if you're the Tigers, you got to get some good offensive line protection, and you got to pick up a couple of first downs. Sieber hands off to Dawson around the right side, and he'll have about 3 or 4 yards. But luckily for the Warriors, Dawson runs out of bounds, and that stops the clock.
Well, that is a break for Amite, as he may have picked up 2. It looked like he may have gotten 4 or 5, but he must have stepped out of bounds and only picking up 2 yards, so it brings down a 2nd and 8. And the key word you say is stop the clock.
And right now, if you're Independence, you want to try to get the ball into the middle of the field and run that clock as much as you can. And they're going to go for the punt block. You hear Donald Career screaming punt block if Independence has the punt. Sieber to Dawson. And he's up close to the first down, probably about a yard short, but he goes out of bounds again. So Dawson gets up to about the 14-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and very short. And now this is the biggest play of the football game.
Well, it is, Mark, and Brandon Dawson is just taking it upon himself as along with Antron Sieber, and just ran hard and hard all night long, Mark. And in the second half, he's refused to be brought down by one individual.
And 3rd down and a short one, 7:05 to play. Still plenty of time to play in the ball game. Sieber on the snap, gives Dawson 1st down. Tigers have the football. Dawson still running. And Bulls is way ahead for about 6. And that is a very clutch play by Brandon Dawson. And what can you say about him? Well, Brandon Tofield out with an ACL injury, and Dawson, who was usually understudies, always have a tough time, but not him.
You're right, Mark, and they missed LeBrandon Tofield, as everyone knows, but Brandon Dawson has stepped up and played one whale of a game tonight. You got to tip your hat to the young man.
Still plenty of time to play in the ball game if you're an Amite Warrior. And a big stop here, and they'll have time to make another mark. Sieber fumbles the football and alertly falls on it. And that's a dead play you don't want if you're Coach Charles Baglio, because now it puts you in 2nd and long.
Well, that is, Mark, and right there could have been a break for Amite. alertly, Antron Sieber falls on it, but like you say, it is a second down and long, and we'll see. I believe if Independence throws the ball, Mark, which, you know, you don't know if they should or not, but I think if they throw it, somebody will be open because Amite is just simply committed to the run at this point.
Second down and 10. Sieber calls for it, hands it off, keeps the ball, and he fumbles the football, and Amite has the football. So there's the turnover there, Marty Morgan.
And Mark, there's so many subplots in this game, and just another one, and Amite fumbles the ball, and I'm sorry, Independence fumbles the ball, and Amite recovers it. So what else can happen?
That's why they play the game, and right there, Independence running the option, and obviously there was an exchange problem between Dawson and Sieber. The ball was left on the ground, and Amite now in prime territory here to take the lead. With 6:01 to play. And Dorsett Buckles will come into the ball game, and Amite's probably going to just pound the football here. And Buckles fights ahead for about 4 or 5.
He has showed that he can kick field goals as he boomed a few extra points, but you know, in this kind of pressure situation, you're asking a lot for a kid to kick a field goal.
Amite not thinking field goal right now, though, as they pick up 4 on first down. It's second down and 6. Now the Tigers have to play defense. Here's Buckles, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage, gets maybe 1 or 2, and it's going to bring up a third down and about 2 or 3 to go here for the first down.
Well, if you're Amite, Mark, do you just keep pounding the ball up the middle, or do you fake it, or what do you do?
Again, we'll wait for this play because I'm not a coach, obviously, and right here, you're third down and 4, and you got several things you can do. You can pound it, you can sprint out. Really, this is a pretty good down here for Amite, third down and 4. Here's Brumfield, and he is close to the first down, and it looks like he'll be about a yard short, maybe. And they didn't look like he got that many yards, but maybe he did, because we're away from the football, and it's just hard to tell how much forward progress a young man gets from this position. Now, Marty, if you're Independent, you got to start thinking about timeouts, because the big thing here, Amite's in pretty good shape here to score, and if they do score, you want to have enough time to bounce back on your own.
So it's going to be 4th down and about 6 inches, and we'll see what Donald Career does. I don't know about, I'm sure he'll do the quarterback sneak, Mark, but with big 59, Sean Tanner in there, that's a lot.
I'll go out on a limb and call quarterback sneak right here. Amite's the best in the business of running the quarterback sneak. And they run the quarterback sneak and pick up the first down. And the ball came loose, but they'll call his momentum down. And Marty, I'm not sure if he had the first down on the initial surge, but he was able to scrape off the butt of the center and pick it up.
And that was a lucky break for Amite because he did not have the first down, but like you say, he just scraped off outside, and with 4:21 to go in the game, and Amite in Independence territory.
Marty is first and goal at the 9, so Amite with the football. Here's Brumfield, and he stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe 1 or 2, and he'll pound ahead and give him maybe 1 on the play. And he'll bring up second down. Clock continues to run, now under 4 minutes to play in the ball game. And it's second down and goal from the 7. Again, Amite still has pretty good shape here to kick the field goal.
Well, yes, they do, Mark. And, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Amite Independence, a storied rivalry, and it's come down to this, the last series. And a fumble by it's going to be picked up by Antoine Smith, and he's going to take it. He's at the 30, and he is barreling down to the 14-yard line, and my, oh my. And Mark, that may have just done it for the Warriors.
Well, Marty, you saw Independence go option and turn the ball over. High-risk play. Amite goes option. Bad exchange on the pitch. Turns the ball over. And that, Marty, if you're an Amite Warrior coach, fan, or player, you have got to be really, really beside yourself, because Independence scores a go-ahead touchdown when they're stopped. It's 4th down. Sieber's tackled out of bounds. Amite has the football, but the personal foul gives them a 1st down. They score the next play. Amite gets the big turnover, driving. Looks like they're going to go ahead and score to take over the lead, and they turn the ball over again. And I tell you what, you really got a feel for the Amite Warriors. But Marty, it's still not over yet. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Anything can happen.
Well, you're right. Anything can happen. And you hate to see one of these teams lose. And it looks like Amite is going to lose. But you got to tip your hat to Independence as they hung in there. And they have the ball on the 15-yard line. And Amite's got one timeout. But we've seen crazier things.
Yes, we have, and now we have an official timeout, and I'm not sure what that's going to be. I think it's going to be a sideline warning against Independence, I think. They're talking to, I don't know what's going on here. We'll have to see. But Marty, right here, Amite was just one timeout, so Independence is going to be able to take off a good chunk of this clock. Another thing you got to think about, if Independence does score a touchdown, Amite still would only be down 7 points unless Independence makes the extra point. So there's a lot of things that can happen in Amite's favor. We've got to still keep that hope open here. But Independence with the ball at about the 14. Sieber hands off. This is Dawson. You don't want to go out of bounds if you're him. And he'll fumble the football. And now Amite has it. So just like we talked about, the game's never over until it's over.
Well, as Yogi Berra would say, it's never over till it's over. And Amite's going to have to drive 80 yards, Mark. And it's been a great one.
And you can't fault Brandon Dawson. He's fighting for extra yards, tried to stay in bounds. And Amite right there, Marty, raking at the football and got the ball away from him. And now they have the ball resting on about the 12-yard line. So this game has had more twists and turns than a Bavarian pretzel. 3 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the ball game, and unbelievable. 3 minutes, 6 seconds to play. Wagner back to pass, and he'll sacked, and the ball is loose, and it is picked up. Touchdown, Tigers. Wagner was harassed, and that's Sean Tanner. But Marty, as I just said a while ago, still not over, because Independence, Marty, has got to make an extra point, and Amite still is within a touchdown of this ball game.
Well, no doubt about it, Mark, and if you Amite, it hurts, you know. Independence is jubilant, and Wagner was sacked under heavy pressure and fumbled the ball, and touchdown Tigers. And what can you say? It's been a great game, a hard-fought game. You hate to see anybody lose this game, but man, this is one of the craziest games I've ever seen.
Oh, yes, it is. Just when you thought last year's game was a good one, the 95 game, which was one of the greatest played, the 92 game, probably what the Amite Independence standard has been set by. This one's topped all of those, I would think, as far as drama twists. But right here, the strategy is, what do you do if you're Independence? Do you kick the extra point or try to kick the extra point? They haven't been very successful. Or do you go for two? If you get the two-point conversion, the game's out of reach. If you make the extra point, Amite's still a touchdown and a two-point conversion from tying the game. So right here, if you're Coach Baglio, I think you probably got to go for two.
Yeah, I think you do, Mark, and that's probably what he'll do. As it is what he will do. He'll go for two, and of course, if Independence makes this two-point conversion, it's over with. If he misses it, Amite will get a chance to get the ball back with 2:57. So, folks, stick around as this one is not over with.
And something I tell you is very disturbing if you're Amite. These fans are starting to leave the ball game, and I can't understand why. There's still 3 minutes to play in this contest. And Amite's still very much a fighting chance. And here's Dawson, and he'll fight, and he can't get in, I don't believe. And that gives Amite second life. And that's what we talked about. And these fans are heading out of the stadium in disgust. And I don't understand that.
Well, I don't. You know, it looked like it's been over 2 or 3 times, and Amite's hung in, and they've got a chance to get the ball back on offense. A big return right here, Mark, and you never know what'll happen.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, right there, it's almost not hurt Independence, but it's almost in Amite's favor that they did score when the ball was fumbled in the end zone instead of recovered about the 10 where they could have ate up a couple of minutes of clock. So Sieber will kick off, and you got to remember who you got back there, Oscar Perry and Esco Hornsby.
So we've got 2:57 to go in a drama. Independence Amite, as it has been all night long, and it has just been more than we could ask for. It's been a great game, Mark.
Yes, it has, and still it's anybody's game. Antron Sieber will kick off from the 40-yard line. 2:57 to play. Not a whole lot of times run off that clock. And Sieber's kick looks like this will be at about the goal line in the end zone. And that just did get across the goal line. And that is a huge play for Independence.
So now let's see if the Warriors can get a big play or drive 80 yards. And 2:57 to go. Plenty enough time, Mark.
And Independence defense is tired, Marty. You had Antoine Smith had to run that fumble all the way back about 80 yards. Then they fumbled on offense, had to go back on defense, recovered the fumble. Now they're back out there. So it's a tired Independence defense right now. Ball at the 20, 2:57 to play. Amite has one timeout. Oscar Perry on the speed play is up into there by Charles Tofield. On a nice tackle, picks up 3 at 2nd down and 7. And really still with 2:42, you still have some time to huddle a couple of times. You don't have to panic just yet if you're Amite. You still have one timeout. Wagner back to pass. He's being pressured, running out to the right, fires the football, and it's almost intercepted over here by Antron Sieber. The ball goes out of bounds, and Wagner was harassed by a couple of Tigers, Antoine Smith and Gerald Franklin. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to play.
And Mark, he just had a lot of pressure when he's rolling out, and it's just tough to get to throw the ball as Independence has Mike Washington and Antron Sieber back, not going to let anybody get behind them. So Amite's in a bit of a hole.
2-down territory here for the Warriors. 3rd down and 7. 2 minutes and 7 seconds to play. Hornsby in motion, and here is Wagner back to throw. He throws. That's incomplete, and that could be grounding, and that's what it's going to be on Brandon Wagner. And he just threw that ball out of bounds to nobody, and that's going to push Amite back, I believe, another 10 yards and a loss of down.
So that's what it'll be. So it'll bring up a 4th down and 17 for the Warriors. And Mark, this is the last hope that Amite has.
But they still have hope, and that's something you always have to cling to if you're trying to get back in a ball game. So it's 4th down and about 18 or 19 to go for a Warrior first down. And right here, if you're Independence, you just don't want anybody to get behind you. That's the big thing. As Downing will split way out here to the left, and nobody's out here on him. And now Otto Bonds comes over, and Donald Career screaming for a timeout, doesn't get it. And here's a screen pass. This is Brumfield, and he's short of the first down, and just about 3 yards short, and the Tigers will take over on downs. And with just one timeout, Marty, that could just about do it.
Well, that is going to do it, Mark, and it was a hard-fought game, and if you're Amite, you're going to look back, and it's going to be called the call, the questionable roughing the passer penalty. I won't know for sure if it was the correct call or not, but that broke the back of the Warriors.
Well, Marty, we certainly were looking away from the play. Sieber was knocked around the fence. And anytime you're hit that hard toward the sidelines, whether you're inbounds or not, the official has a knee-jerk reaction to throw a flag. He very well may have been 3 or 4 yards out of bounds. We just won't know. But nonetheless, that call was the turning point of the football game. There is no doubt about it.
Well, it was, but then, Amite gets another break and has a chance down at the Independence 8, and they fumble the ball. So that's just the way it is, and you got to tip your hat to Coach Charlie Baglio and his staff, and to Donald Career and his staff. A greatly played contest. Both teams left it all out on the field, and it's going to be the 4th year in a row, and the Independence Tigers are going to come away with a victory.
But, Marty, you still have a center quarterback exchange, so that's something that you got to think about. Independence has fumbled a couple of them tonight, so you have a new center in the ball game too. Ryan Gazzardo, who took over for Hunter last week, so new center in the football game, and he hasn't had a lot of experience. So we'll see if Sieber can just get the snap and probably go to a knee. They're going to hand the ball off, and a flag is thrown. And I don't know, but there's a hold on the play, and that's going to help Independence, Marty, because it's going to give them an extra down, and you start the clock. We'll see if they start the clock on this. Well, it's up to the officials' discretion whether to start it inside 2 minutes. So we'll see what happens, but nonetheless, it'll give Independence an extra down. Amite's going to refuse it. And now the clock will start.
So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 5, and I believe it's just a mere formality, Mark, as Independence is just going to be able to run this clock down, and they'll come away with the victory, and they'll have a step up on the district championship.
Right here, if you're Independence, you might want to think about taking the knee here. And I think that's what they'll do. Sieber will get under center, call for it. No, he'll hand it off again. That's Dawson. He just needs to go down, and he'll fight for extra yardage. And I'm sure Coach Baglio's sitting over there on the sideline saying, please go down to the ground. And Amite will use their final timeout.
And Mark, we'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, Travis R. Amar, attorney at law, Circle A Hardware in Albany, the Field of Dreams baseball camp, and also People's Bank. Thanks to all our sponsors. This would not be possible, and just been another great game, Mark.
Well, Marty, Coach Charles Baglio on the sideline, I know, was thinking back to 1994, Independence at Ponchatoula, up in that ball game by a score 15-13. Very similar situation to this. About a minute to go in the ball game, they ran the football. Darren Brister fumbled. Ponchatoula got it on about their 15. Heaves a desperation pass to Charlie Landry to beat them. And I know that's going to be crossing their minds as they're going to run this play right here. So 1:05 to play, and Amite can't stop it anymore after this. Sieber takes the handoff, or the ball, hands it off to Dawson, and he pounds in, and that will be the end of the ball game. And Independence will be able to run out the clock from inside the 10. And Marty Morgan, what a football game, as Independence has a player down on the field. That looks like possibly Brett Anzalone down. It is, and he's coming back from an injured ankle. And Marty, let's go back to the beginning of this football game. Amite jumps out 13-0, and it looks like they're going to run away with it. And Independence makes the adjustments. Take your hat off to Sammy Messina and the coaching staff of the Tigers for making adjustments when they were totally lost in the first quarter.
Well, they were, Mark, and it was a great game plan by Coach Donald Career, but, you know, Independence made some adjustments, and they came out and did what they had to do in the second half, and they came away with a victory, a hard-fought victory at that. We usually say there's no winners or losers in a game like that, but it's not true in this case, Mark, because when you lose this game, you get on the harder side of the bracket toward the Superdome, and you must face Evangel, a perennial powerhouse, and, you know, you got a better half if you win it, and both teams came out and did what they had to do, but Independence came out on top.
And they are jubilant on the Tigers sideline, and what a big win for Independence. And Marty, Independence is ranked 3rd in 3A, but a lot of people in this area assumed Amite had the better football team. I think a lot of people thought that, and as far as athletes anyway, and maybe they do, who knows, but Independence was able to win this game tonight. That's 4 in a row for an Independence football team. That's unprecedented in Tiger history. Of course, Amite was able to win 7 in a row from 1985 to 91. But you've got to take your hat off to Amite. You've got to feel sorry for the coaches, the fans, and the players. They left their hearts on the field and deserved to win this football game.
Well, they did, Mark, but they're going to come out on the short end of the stick, and in football, you know, that it's just one little play, and in my mind, I'll never forget that play at the sideline on the 20-yard line. Amite had them stop and had the momentum back, and the referee threw the penalty. It was obviously the right call, but that changed the game, and Independence is going to come around here with the victory, and deservedly so. And what can you say? Charlie Baglio, 4 years in a row beating a powerhouse of a team, Amite, and unfortunate for the Warriors, but they'll just have to pick it back up and put together the pieces and go on from here.
Marty, that play certainly a big play in the ball game, but really you got to take your hat off to Antron Sieber and Brandon Dawson, and let's not forget the Independence offensive line, much maligned coming into this ball game. 3 sophomores and a junior, and I'll name them: Gary Rishu, Ryan Gazzardo, Barry Whitmer, Brett Anzalone. Don't want to leave anybody out. An outstanding job up front. Cooper at tight end. They were sensational up front. The defense played well. It was a whale of a game, and we were glad to bring it to you right here on FPTV. We don't know where we'll be next week, but we'll have a game for you right here on Channel 17, Florida Parish's television. You've watched a great one tonight where the Independence Tigers have defeated the Amite Warriors by a score of 20-13. And for Marty Morgan, cameraman Butch Mine, I'm Mark Willoughby bidding you a pleasant good evening. We'll see you next week on FPTV.